Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPautos.com, your libertarian car guy. That background beep you're hearing, by the way, is speed limit assistance technology in this 25 Range Rover Sport, and many vehicles have this, by the way. What you'll see there in the dash above the speed I'm driving, which is 62 and a 55, oh no, I'm speeding. And you can see the little sign above it that looks like a speed limit sign. And because I'm going faster, it's blinking red around the perimeter, and there's a chime to let me know I'm speeding. That's not really what I wanted to talk about today. It kind of popped to mind because it's so aggravating to be pestered by vehicles in this way. You know, and particularly the way they call it assistance. Because I didn't mean to be driving faster than the speed limit. I need assistance to let me know I'm not driving faster. I'm driving faster than the speed limit. Oy vey. All right, back on track. What I wanted to talk about was what I wrote about the other day, and you've probably already heard about it too, which is that Stellantis, which is the parent company of the Dodge and Ram and Chrysler and Jeep brands, is walking back, at least to some extent, its commitment to electrification, and specifically it's bringing back the V8 engine, the Hemi V8, that it had pulled from the lineup after 2023. And they're doing it because they're in real trouble. A lot of people don't want an inline six with turbo hybrid technology. And let me preface what I'm about to say with, I have nothing against the new Hurricane 6 that's in a number of Stellantis products. It's actually a really fine engine. It makes more power than the Hemi. It gets about the same or a slightly better gas mileage. The thing is, though, it's just not a V8, and that does matter. You know, I mean, we still live in a kind of, sort of, somewhat free country where people tend to prefer to spend money on the things that they want rather than the things that are pushed on them. Stellantis put the inline six in the lineup in place of the V8, essentially as a compliance engine. What do I mean by that? Well, the Hemi V8, it's not so much that it used too much gas, so that was part of it. It emitted too much gas, you know. And I'm talking about carbon dioxide, which the federal government is trying to stamp out for some bizarre reason. Of course, the reason is they're trying to essentially insert the entire average income populace and make the things that working and middle income people used to be able to have in this country so expensive that only the very affluent can have them. But that's a subject for another rant. The point is that in order to deal with the compliance issue, and oh my God, I found another clover. I mean, a day doesn't go by when I go get a clover. Oh, here we go. The road has a 55 mile an hour speed limit, and there we go. We're going 49 miles an hour. Anyway, let me get back on track. Stellantis had to pay enormous sums of money to buy what are called carbon credits. And guess who sells those? It's our buddy Elon Musk. They had to buy these carbon credits to offset the fact that they didn't produce enough zero emissions vehicles, meaning vehicles that don't produce carbon dioxide. Oh, look, they're turning off. That's nice. Good. That's what you ought to do when you're driving that way, when you're driving so slowly that other people can't get past you and you're not driving the freaking speed limit. All right, back again to where I was. So the management thought, okay, we can't continue to spend this money on the carbon credits, and we also can't afford to pay the various fines that are applied by the federal government that we then have to pass on to the customer. So what are we going to do? We're going to get rid of the V8, we'll put this new 6 in there, and we'll be able to drive on and have a nice day. The fly in the soup there is that people didn't want it. They wanted the V8. So not only has the Charger EV, which doesn't have an engine at all, been a disaster, an epic flop of Edselian proportions. The Edsel, I mean, back in the late 1950s when Ford tried that. It is also affecting Ram, which is a huge big deal because Ram and the trucks are the main profit center for Stellantis U.S. operations. And the Ram 1500 was selling really well when you could get it with a V8. And that kind of began to fall apart when they pulled the V8 from the lineup. So that's why they're bringing it back. Now, here's the asterisk. You know, you hear the asterisk, or you know, when the fast-talking commercial guy always tells you about the caveats, blah, 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 at the very end of it. Well, here it is. Yeah, they're going to bring it back into the lineup. The problem is it's probably going to be so expensive that only a few people are going to be able to buy it. A few relatively, I mean. Because more than likely it's going to end up costing, say, probably, I'm going to predict about $60,000 to start in a Ram 1500. And why is that? Well, because the regs that are responsible for all of this have not been repealed or even really dialed back. You know, Trump talks about getting back to the 2020 standards. Well, the reason that the Hemi got pulled in the first place was because of the 2020 standards. So, you know, it's going to end up being another issue of Stellantis having to offload costs onto the customer. And I foresee what happening again is that the engine, the Hemi V8, is going to become available as a kind of exclusive option, much in the same way that even if you get into a very high-end car, let's say a Mercedes S-Class, a BMW 5, something like that, those cars used to always come standard with V8s because, my God, you're paying $90,000, $100,000 for a car. You should get a V8 engine, don't you think? Well, you know, they still have them as options, but the option jacks the price up to something like, you know, $110,000, $120,000 to get into the V8. The standard version of the car comes with a 6. You know, it's just to give you some idea of what's going on. This is a way to measure what is going on. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit this morning. I'm sure I'm going to encounter some more Clovers to video for your amusement. More over at EPautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site. Thanks as always for viewing, and we'll catch up with you again soon.